All right, let's resume our journey. So I'm not really sure why there's a stop sign here. I don't think any of the other bridge crossings have a stop sign. Maybe they want people to slow down as they go across the bridge, but doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense. So let's pull out my notes here, and then we can talk a little bit about this this structure and what it is it's crossing. So it's kind of interesting. The previous section, there were 4 river crossings. This section only has 1, and then the next section has a whole bunch, right? So it's just kind of weird how that works out. So where are we here? So this is the Beach River. The Beach River also shows up on maps as the Bear River, and it also shows up as the Oscar River. We're going to call it the Bear River. So the trestle here is 50 feet long, and it's 10 feet high. The top part actually doesn't look too bad, but what's kind of interesting, okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Let's reload that. Wrong slip of paper. Okay, so this is the Petry River, okay? And basically the Petry River is one of the major rivers in the area, one of the bigger rivers in the area. It shows up on maps sometimes as the Bear River. This trestle is 75 feet long and 13 feet high. What we're going to do is we're going to work our way across here, and then you'll be able to see the underside. It's actually, again, the top part looks not too bad. The underside is one of the more kind of dinged up trestles that we've seen. You'll see that some of the bracings and things like that on the trestle are not as in good shape as one would imagine. You can see some remnants here. So you can see there's a spike that was on there. I'm going to move this off because I know I have to drive back over here. I don't want to be getting that in my tire. Okay, so let's hold up here and then go have a look at the underside. So we made our way down here on the north side of the trestle. You can see both sides are very obscured by the vegetation, so it's not going to be particularly easy to see this particular structure. So let's move in for a closer look carefully. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bents. You can see that this particular bridge has sustained some damage. So you can see these cross beams here, these cross members here. This one has been, both sides have been torn off. You can see the one on the other side has been dislocated as well. Here you can see some of the piles from previous structure. Lovely aroma of creosote. Spike. Again, doesn't look in too bad shape, other than the damaged cross braces. You can see barrel here. I'm guessing our good friend creosote. Again, this side looks like it's in pretty decent shape. Let's see if we can make our way over here and get a little bit better angle on the bridge, on the trestle. There'd be a big rock right here. Let's see if we can, okay, there we go. Not really that helpful. It's the water's very deep. So there's no way we can get into the creek. So what we'll do is we'll jump the creek here and go have a look on the other side. All right, we've jumped the creek. We are now on the northwest corner of the bridge. Kind of really interesting. Lots of rocks and things in the water, and what is otherwise kind of a bit of a swampy area here. Let's go have a closer look here. Push through the tamaracks. Kind of a bit messy under here under the bridge. So we have here yet another cross brace that's broken. So this one's here, and there's another timber here that's, I don't know where that one came from. Again, you can see some of the, whoop, try not to kill myself. Oh, Luna. You can see some of the piles from the previous structure. Let's get some up there as well. You can see the beaver's been hard at work here. You can see the spike. Let's make our way over here. Into the creek like a dirty shirt. Yeah, you can see the one that's broken, the cross brace over there that's broken. But other than that, look okay. Certainly this is one of the more banged up trestles that we've seen. A lot of the other ones look in much better shape than this one does. Let's see if we can back out a bit here. Again, it's very hard to get an angle on this trestle here, just because all of the vegetation that's grown up around it. Okay, so let's head back up to the grade and continue on. Okay, backpedaling here. So you can see there's actually some patches of blue there. It just comes and goes. Another neat feature too is pretty much all of the trees have lost their leaves, but what we're seeing right now is we're actually seeing the tamaracks changing the color of their leaves, their needles, sorry. So the tamarack is a species of larch. It is one of the few coniferous trees that loses its needles. And so at this time of the year, they start to turn this brilliant shade of golden yellow, as you can see. It's just amazing to see it. The needles themselves are actually very, very soft compared to a lot of other coniferous trees. You can see like they come down, and so sometimes when you're at this time of the year, when you're going through, it looks like it's snowing, but in fact, actually, it's the needles coming down. And then so they'll lose their needles, and then they'll regrow them in the springtime. But again, just makes for some beautiful scenes. That golden yellow color, and again, especially since the leafy trees have lost their leaves, so the poplars and birches have lost their leaves. It's neat to see. It's also indicative of the terrain. The tamaracks like swampy areas, so it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're going through here, because you see lots of tamaracks. All right, hopefully the weather cooperates with us here. Again, I don't want to come back and have to redo this section. The plan is that today's Saturday. The plan is to come back during the week to do the next section. So this section goes all the way from Graham, just past the station at Quorn, to where there's a washout at Selwyn Lake. So here you can see another telegraph pole. And because of the length, I've had to do it in 3 sections. So we did that one a few weeks ago from Graham to just past Oscar, or where we started today. We're going to do this piece to just shy of the Petry Pit and the crossing of the little Petry River, and then we're going to come back and do that last section. It's the shortest of the sections, but it's the most difficult to get to because, you know, for me anyway, the easiest way to get into the grade, get into that area is to follow the grade. But I mean, this section from Graham past Quorn is 23 miles. So you're driving on the grade for those 23 miles. And like I did this morning, you're doing it in the dark, right? Because you're trying to get here just as, you know, the sun comes up so you can get started. And that makes for an interesting drive when it's pitch black outside and you're driving down an area that you've only been down a few times. Let's stop for a moment here. So there is a little bit of blue there, and you can see this section with all the tamaracks. It looks beautiful. So again, maybe Thursday we're going to come in here, and the reason why I have to do it during the week was because I want some accompaniment. I don't want to go all the way up here into this area without anybody. So hopefully my son Noah is going to come with me, and that's the day that he's available. So that's the best that I can do, and hopefully that will be really our last hike for the fall. We did the Saturday, Sunday a couple weeks ago. Last week we were up at Silver Dollar. We did 2 sections solidly, and then we were going to do the third, but we didn't quite get around to all of it. I did some of the pieces, did some drone work, recorded some rock cuts and things like that. So I'll have to go back in the springtime to take a look at that section. So telegraph poles in through here. You're going to see lots of standing ones. There's one right there. No cross arms on it. Not sure why. A little bit of an incline here, which is not cool because I got to pull the dog up there. There's another one without any cross arms. Now, one of the interesting features about the grade in this area, again, as I mentioned, this is one of the most remote sections of, maybe I didn't mention, it's one of the remote sections of the line, simply because it's not easy to get into this area. You can come up through the railway grade. I think there's another road that loops up close to Quorn, but again, I've never been up that road, so I don't like going, you know, down roads that I don't know. I don't know what that's on the sign there. So it's not particularly easy to get into. So lots of logging that goes on, so it's kind of neat, or kind of interesting. You see how the grade changed. So obviously there's logging that's going on up that way. So all of a sudden the nature of the road changed. It's less well traveled, and you're going to see that with every subsequent road that we cross up until we get into the next section. Okay, what do I got here? Up until the next section. Oh, there's a partridge walking across the road. Up until the next section, when there's, like I said, by Quorn, there's a road that comes in, and you can see it kind of picks up a little bit. So what we have here, there's a couple of these sections here where it appears, I don't know what's going on. You can kind of see there's ditching work that was done, and it kind of bumps out, and it almost looks like there's a siding. And so on the LiDAR, you can see kind of this bumped out area. So I'll show you this one here. And again, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if this was actually something, or just because of how they did the ditching, or maybe there was a siding here when they were building the line, or there was a spur here when, you know, in those years, like I said, from October 1919 to 1922, So 1919, 1920, 1921, there's no spurs or anything that show up on the employee timetables, and I'm not sure why. So there could have been something. It is quite long. So you can see it's clearing up again, right? So it patches, it opens up, and then it closes up, and it opens up, and it closes up. Okay, we'll zip you ahead a little bit here. So, we were in the midst of being zipped ahead when the battery died. I knew that it needed to be changed. I thought I was going to be able to kind of get a little bit further before it ran out of juice. So, the sun's popping out a little bit here. We'll see what it does. We pre-recorded as we were coming east. We pre-recorded all the rock cuts, so if the sun happens to come out and messes with our lighting, at least we have all the rock cuts done. I think it's just going to be in and out. Okay, so we've got about 12 more kilometers to go, because I think, well, like I said, 13, so I don't know, we'll see. All right, so we did pre-record this one. Okay, let's use the pre-recorded version. So let's make our way through this fairly small rock cut. You can see it's not particularly tall. It's less than 5 feet on this side, and the same thing on this side here. Just trying to see if you could, look like there was a drill mark there. Again, you can see the very irregular nature of the sides of the cut. Again, the very, very primitive blasting techniques and technology that they had. So you get these very, very non-symmetrical sides of the rock cut. Not like you see today, where they have the technology and the ability to make them nice and flush and symmetrical. All right, so basically here's where the rock cut comes to an end. So what we're going to do is we'll hold up here and continue on momentarily. So we're back. The wind is chilly. So, as I was mentioning before, the weather's been kind of, again, all over the place. So, you know, a couple weeks ago it was like 30 degrees, and then it cooled off, and then it warmed up again, and it's been very, very dry. So when I was here 3 weeks ago, or more, maybe a little bit more, so yeah, 3 weeks ago, right? Because 2 weeks ago I did the hike. The week before I came in here doing a little recce, a little reconnaissance, and you know, because I wanted to, I recorded a lot of the Trestle. So the one that we did back there, we had done previously. So anyway, you know, you would drive along and there was like clouds of dust that was coming up. I got home and there was dust all over, obviously dust all over the outside of the truck, dust in the inside of the truck. Like, it was just crazy. And then kind of got some showers here and there. And then of course this week we were supposed to get some rain, and I think we ended up getting more rain than they called for. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 25-30 millimeters of rain in this area, which probably was needed because it was extremely dry. There was like a, you know, you looked at the maps and it was a severe drought. So it helps, but as you're going to see, there's a spot coming up that kind of messes with us a little bit. Okay, so let's hold up here for a second. You can see there's yet another road, logging road going off, and we'll pause here momentarily and then continue on.